I want to talk to you about the casting side of your next pitch. Now, as you know, we work with shortlist presentations, we work with project interviews, competitive selling scenarios where teams come together to vie for positions. They interview, and then somebody is awarded the project. And if you do that, I'm talking to you. One of the biggest mistakes people make is a hard one to get around. It's the idea of how do we cast our team of presenters, because not everyone can win a job. However, you're casting based on who can do the job, which is just important, and reconciling those two can be a bit of a conundrum. So let me start with the old days for me, which was film, when casting meant you're piecing together an ensemble cast from good actors. But what we had to face is not every good actor was lead material. There's something that makes a star a star. It can be elusive and hard to pinpoint, but there's also something that makes a great supporting role. And it's putting those together that was a certain art form. And we get on coaching sales pitches. We don't have that luxury because, hey, these are the people doing the job. They're picked because they're the right people to do the job. But there's an infamous saying, we can't do the project if you can't win it. And if you can't put together the right people to create that inspirational moment that wins over hearts and minds, well, you probably don't get the chance to put them on the project. So I want you to think about it. It could be that the main point of this vlog is simply to be thinking about it. Let's reach way back to the pre-positioning phase, long before the RFP comes out, long before you can apply for the job and propose. You're putting together a team who would do that project. I'm advocating that you think about casting. We just did a really great interview for a really great project with a team that didn't have star power, didn't have that gravitas, that charismatic confidence, that inspirational oomph. And we didn't win. We didn't cast it right. We didn't have somebody for the leading role. The people who have to be on the job who don't have those skills might not be the one in that face of the interview role. So same thing in talk shows. In talk shows, you got to have someone who can be a talk show host, and not everyone can. Well, you got to find someone who can be the host, the face of the interview. Could be that you pick someone to be the face of the interview, even if they're not the senior most person, because they're the person with that charisma and you give them that role. Or you have to work to elevate the presenting skills and the facilitating skills and the conversation skills and the emotional intelligence. You have to elevate their game, because we will see in the film world character actors who find themselves leads because they evolve those skills and qualities. So they can be built, but this is a real consideration that we think you're not making. You're putting in your team and you're hoping they can win the job. I am advocating for a casting beat. So some other things to take into account are things like diversity and inclusion and the value system on the prospect side, so that we can reflect that value system in our team. It may not just be the prospect side, it may be the community they're in. It may be the world that they serve. We need our interview to speak to multiple levels of connection. And so diversity and inclusion can be very key ingredients, as well as what positions are reflected. So in the interview that we lost, we had people that could have helped us better reflect the prospect's values and the community and bring some of that extra power that we didn't have, but we didn't put them in the interview. There were restrictions on that. Sometimes it's out of your control, but way back in the pre-positioning, we needed to be asking ourselves two questions, not just one. First question, which we did ask, is what is the team that can deliver this job? But the question we didn't ask is this a team that can sell that job? So I want to advocate for you to put your casting hat on and take a beat and think about, will this group of people be able to bring that casting horsepower to show synergy, to make those connections and reflect the values with some charismatic, inspirational oomph, because that's what it takes to sell at this point. So think about the casting and put together the ensemble cast who can not only do the job, but they can help you win it.